Welcome to the Mindset Lady. Most of the time, we forget about our past and how our past or our relationship with our parents affect our adulthood. According to transactional analysis in psychology, it does affect us a lot. In this video specifically, I want to talk about the father effect, and I will give examples from Love is Blind. The relationship we have with our father from age 0 affect us in a way that we could never imagine. The relationship between a daughter and father will be different than a son and father, because son will see the father as an idol, as a person he wants to be, whereas a daughter will see the father figure as someone who is ideal partner of her in the future. But today I want to talk about how our relationship with our father affect our career and our relationship with money. If you have a good relationship with your dad since the beginning of your childhood, then probably you tend to have a better relationship with outside your house, with other people, with authorities, and with your career and with money. Because our relationship with our father symbolizes our relationship with our goals, with our career goals, with our money goals, and also how we behave to authority figures. If you are having issues with your boss all the time in every job you had, or maybe you feel like when you start a job at somewhere, you always feel like you're bored easily, or you want to get out easily and you change jobs very frequently, again, this could point that maybe you had a bad relationship with your father to begin with. Or maybe you are bad with money. You have problem in investing, or you are maybe overspending. You are terrible at saving. Maybe, again, this can connect to your childhood and your relationship with your father, and how, now I'm going to explain. But before I go dive deeper, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on all the notifications if you're enjoying this video. Before I give examples from Love is Blind series, I just want you to think about you and your father, how he made you feel when you were a little kid, maybe 0 to 5 years old. Did you feel safe? Did you admire him? Did you feel loved and cared? And as time progressed, maybe during your teenager years, how was your relationship with your father? Was it better? Was it worse? Did you feel still safe? Did you still admire him? Just think about this and try to find some adjectives, try to find some words to describe how you felt towards your father, or how you felt in the presence of your father. And then look at your 20s, right? In your adulthood. Now, how is it? Or in 20s, how was it? And now, how do you feel? How is your relationship? And then go back and look at your career, how you act in your company or in the workplace that you work at. For example, do you feel safe and cared and loved in the first year or so, but then suddenly you feel the strain in your relationship with your company, you feel maybe in danger, or maybe you feel hopeless, or maybe you feel abandoned, then maybe you start to get frustrated, hopeless, and you quit. If you see some similarities between these two stories, then maybe this could be a good moment to go back and think about this. Think about your relationship with your father and how you can change this, since you know this now, and you can break this bad cycle that has been going on. In Love is Blind series, we look at the families as well. As you know, Love is Blind is a Netflix series. So a bunch of people go into the pods, they don't see each other, they're separated with a wall, so they date without seeing each other, they fall in love, and they open the doors, they meet for the first time, they go on honeymoon, and then they start to get to know each other physically and also more emotionally, because they learn about their spending, they learn about their career, they learn about their home life, they learn about their families and how the relationships work. And then it becomes real, right? And then they go to altar, they say yes or no. In this series, 5 people especially caught my attention in terms of their relationship to their father and how this affected their financial situations. I'm not going to go in any particular order, but I want to start with Amber. Amber was from season 1. She's a beautiful woman and she was crazy in love with Barnett. They said yes at the altar and they got married. But before they got married, we learned that Amber had some financial problems.
Then there's my student debt from where I never graduated college.
How much are we talking about?
About 20 grand that I have not been paying on. Honestly,
you haven't been paying on?
Not, no.
Oh. How many days a week do you typically work?
As many as I want. I work to live. I don't live to work.
She says at some point that whatever money she makes, it goes to her makeup. You know, she has like $300, $400 as makeup costs.
I have an average credit score. It's not great, it's not bad. But also because I've only got one credit card. It's my makeup credit card, but it's only a $700 limit. And
Still I'm pretty high for makeup.
I'm at the limit.
She doesn't have any savings, and actually she's in debt. And when you get married, you share that as well. So she was very upfront. She was discussing this with Barnett. And when I was watching this, I started to think like, how is her relationship with her father? How was that? And in the upcoming episodes, we learned that she never got to know him actually.
Hey, you look nice. She never got to know her father because he died. She died when she had just turned 5. So she had it tough because it was just me and them.
Yeah.
The relationship between the father figure and the career and money situation could be because the father is historically seen as an authority figure in the family. Again, historically, they have been usually the main breadwinner of the family. So this is how we associate, how we learn since our childhood. The second example I want to give is Shane. Shane is a real estate agent, and at some point actually he says that he has been very successful. He has his own real estate company. He's financially doing fine. But then when they moved in together with Natalie in the first episodes after Mexico, we learn this.
I mean, do you spend a lot on going out and like clothes or things like that?
Where I spend my money is on food.
How much?
Oh my God, over like probably $2,000
A month? Okay, Shane, we like can't do that anymore. How much do we want in our 401k?
I don't really believe in 401ks.
What? What do you mean you don't believe in it?
I take risks a lot with that kind of stuff.
So how he is with money is apparently terrible. He cannot save any money. He doesn't have any savings for retirement. And then after we learned that, of course, I started to think like, how was his relationship with his parents? And then the episodes come, we learned that his father recently passed away. He was not very close with his father, but he was very close with his mother, and his mother was his best friend. Maybe he didn't have a very close relationship, very loving and caring relationship with Shane, and it could be a strain in the relationship between father and son, and this could be a potential problem here. Then we see Izzy, and you see that Izzy has problem with money as well. And actually, this was the main reasons why Stacy and Izzy didn't work out in the end. Because not only he was bad with money, but also he was lying about that from the very beginning.
I guess I feel like, I don't know if I can trust you with like the credit card stuff. Because I've asked you about that before. You know I asked you that. Like, why don't you have any credit cards? You can get points. And you're like, oh, I used them in college and, you know, I just got rid of them. Like that. And then like in the pods talking about finances and debt, like, is there anything I need to know? And you're like, absolutely not. I feel like that wasn't totally truthful.
And even then, like, I'm not in debt. All this stuff's paid. It's just bad credit.
And I kept seeing Izzy's mother, but no father figure. But then when I paid attention to the first episodes, he tells this story that his father was not actually his biological father, and he learns this by accident, and he says that he always missed that father figure in his life. Not having him, not giving him affirmations, not supporting him affected him deeply.
My family was all Jehovah's Witness. I was so sheltered and restricted. It was like Easter, and like all my neighbors were all close. It was a whole bunch of kids. Like my dad, I just see him like outside the fence.
Yeah.
And I remember he was so livid. He like yanked me out and never like educated me on why. So when that had happened, I was like, I gotta get out of here. Like, I'm not gonna stay here.
Here we see a very weak relationship between the son and father, and that reflected poorly on his decisions on money, probably.
Yeah.
And I went to my cousin's house, and just like out of nowhere, he just kind of stops me. He's like, dude, you know that's not your real dad? And I was like, what? And I lost my shit. And I felt so lost.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just kind of like sucks because you don't really feel like you have anybody that you can turn to.
Speaking of Izzy, let's talk about Stacy. Stacy was dating with Izzy. She comes from a wealthy family, we see that. But also, she's very hardworking and she has her own investments and her own job.
Having this house, like getting this on my own and having a potential husband come back into it is pretty backwards than how I ever thought it would go. And in my past, it's always been men that either have a home or wanting to buy the home, the provider.
From the ways that she speaks about money, you can tell that actually she has a goal and she knows what's going on. She's financially doing well.
Like as far as savings, 401k, retirement, like you set a certain amount of money aside a month that goes into savings that's from your paycheck. Like,
Yeah.
I just know like for my savings and stuff, like I've had to take it seriously because of this house. Like if you're living here and this is our home, like are we doing that together?
So here, when you look at the relationship between Stacy and Stacy's father, you see a very close relationship.
And I've seen so many people take advantage of me or my dad because they know that there is money.
You see that they are a healthy and happy looking family.
How's it been raising 3 girls?
Oh, they're a handful. Yeah. Yeah, there was one trip that we took. I remember they took an entire suitcase that was nothing but shoes.
We were going to France for 2 weeks.
But this, you want to go talk? But at the end of the day, Stacey likes restaurants. She likes to travel. She likes nice things. It's that simple. It doesn't mean that he's got to make a gazillion dollars, but it means that she doesn't want to go Dutch, on a meal. She thinks she's worth being taken care of in that manner. So you can say that, I'm going to live off love and all the rest of it, but that lasts until you can't make your credit card payment.
And here, that kind of supports my opinion about how a relationship with father could affect your view about authorities, about money and career. And finally, I want to talk about Jessica. If you remember Jessica from the very first episodes of Love is Blind, she was financially doing really well. She was working for this company. She was in a very high position. She was in a managerial position, and she was living in Chicago, Illinois at that time.
For a long time in my professional life, I wasn't making 6 figures, And then it feels like once it happens, it just kind of continues to grow from there.
But she was talking about how she was abandoned by her biological father, and that deeply hurt her. And this is why I think she was having issues with her relationships with men.
And they decided to get married. So then she got pregnant. And their marriage obviously was not good. You would think that a couple that was married would be excited about having a baby, but apparently he was not. So he wanted her to have an abortion, and she refused to do that. So he said he didn't really want to hang around for it.
Yeah.
But then I'm thinking, but you're doing fine financially, and I think you're a very career-oriented woman, and I think you are doing fine there. So what happened there? Then we learn this.
But the happy ending is my mom met my dad. I don't call him a stepdad or anything like that because we're that close. He adopted me when I was 4. And he saved my whole life.
So what does this mean is that she had a father figure in her life that was supporting her 100% and giving the vision that she was looking for. It doesn't have to be our biological father, guys. If we have a father figure, it can be our grandfather, it can be our stepfathers, If they are really supporting you and they are giving you the love, the care that you were looking for from a father, then you're gonna be okay again. Of course, it will be very easy, and it's like it will be a poor judgment of me to saying that, okay, the career and money is only related to your father or father figures. That would be little too much of a simplification. But what I'm trying to say here, don't forget, these kind of relationships in our childhood might affect our adulthood in this way. It's good to have an open mind. It's good to have this mindfulness and be aware of this, so that when we work on it, let's say we have a bad relationship with our father, if we do some meditations and if we come to a good terms with our father in our minds, even though if they are dead or they're not here with us anymore, emotionally we can have peace with them, and that would help us in terms of our career and in our relationship with money as well. So don't forget this point, but it doesn't necessarily mean that, yeah, okay, I forgave my father and everything is fine now. Like, it doesn't work that way, as you know, but it's going to open some doors that you have never thought about before. Trust me, try it. And please share in the comments how that worked out for you. I would love to know. Thanks for watching. If you want to watch more videos from Mindset Lady, they are right here for you. For now, bye.